Hello, Oracles. I hope everyone had a safe and wonderful New Year last night. Happy New Year to you all. As you can hear, my voice is coming back. It's not fully back yet, but I wanted to get this information out to you guys today because we're going to be getting the delivery numbers tomorrow at around 9 a.m. for Tesla. Now, historically, when Tesla releases these numbers during the week when the market is open, they release them before the market opens. Troy Tesla has a whole spreadsheet set up for this. So it's around 9 a.m. that we should be getting these numbers tomorrow morning. So of course, when those numbers come out, it's going to change how we open in the morning. Thereby, it's most likely going to be creating a gap one way or the other. So we'll get into the numbers and what the expectations are, what Tesla's numbers were from last year, and so we can see what we can expect going forward. Now, of course, once we get these numbers come out, then all the institutions and analysts are going to be putting these new numbers into their valuation models, thereby changing all of these numbers up, hence creating that gap in the stock price. So again, we'll see that tomorrow morning. And now we did sell off going into the end of the year. So Tuesday, we ended up selling off quite a bit, just over $400 right now in the stock price. Could that be a sell off because people are uncertain about what numbers we're going to be getting tomorrow morning and they're just being cautious? Or does somebody know something? My guess is that people were just being cautious going into the numbers for tomorrow. And we already expect that the numbers are going to be flat year over year. If anything, maybe up a smidge, but they're going to really have to be putting out some serious numbers to come up with this. So again, we'll get into those numbers right now. So looking at the expectations, analyst expectations are around 507,000 vehicles, which will put Tesla at just over 1.8 million vehicles for the entire year. Last year's numbers, they came in at 1.808 million. So they would still be falling short by about 8,000. But like I said, that's completely negligible. So it's basically flat year over year. In order for Tesla to beat last year's numbers, they have to be delivering 515,000. So again, Troy Tesla, his estimates are 501,000. So he's expecting them to miss analyst estimates and fall short of the 1.8 million. Now, Troy has been relatively accurate. We shall see who is the closest. Now, again, I have done these numbers in the past. I haven't done them this time around. And for me, I just kind of follow it because it is fun to take a look at the numbers and to get an understanding for evaluation of the company. It's very important. So for me to be able to do those numbers was good. If I have time, I'll get back into that again. But for right now, it's really more of, hey, how is it going to be reacting to this? And again, we never know. Sentiment could swing us one way or the other. Maybe we come in flat, but the market was expecting this and we go up. Or maybe it ends up falling short because the market was expecting a bit of a beat. Maybe there were some street numbers that were expecting maybe 520,000. So again, there's so many other factors involved that are completely out of our control. That's why I just like to kind of react to whatever does end up happening. So the expectations are, again, around 507,000 for analyst estimates. Troy's at about 501,000, and we need 515,000 in order to beat last year's numbers overall. So those are the expectations for what we're going to be seeing for tomorrow's numbers. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think we're going to be seeing and how the market is going to be reacting to those numbers. And so there's some other factors that are going on as well when it comes to just the macro environment and some dates we're going to be taking a look at going forward for the next month that could move the stock price one way or the other. So now, of course, we do have Wall Street's going to be coming back from vacation most likely next week. So the next 2 days market-wide might not be completely certain. Maybe after the sell-off we got on Tuesday, we end up getting a bit of green market-wide, but Tesla, of course, could be disconnected from that strictly because of the delivery numbers that we're going to be getting. So the rest of this week could be lower volatility, and then we're looking at next week. Maybe some people are kind of preemptively buying or selling over the next couple of days just to kind of get ready for Wall Street coming back next week. But then Wall Street coming back next week, we're going to end up getting the jobs numbers next Friday. That's going to be the big one. That's the next big number that we're going to be seeing that's going to affect the macro environment. So January 10th, we're going to be getting the unemployment numbers. And that there is what the market is going to be looking at to understand what is going on and what is the health of the economy right now. That there could move the market one way or the other and could exaggerate whatever we see coming out from Tesla's delivery numbers tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, January 15th, we're going to be getting CPI numbers. Now, the last few months, the Fed had been saying that they're really not focused on inflation. They felt like that was under control. But then the last month, they kind of said, hey, we're kind of concerned about inflation going into next year with Trump taking over and having the tariffs potentially pushing up inflation, which is why they cut their expectations of 6 rate cuts down to 1 or 2 rate cuts for next year. So the CPI data could give us an indication as to what the Fed could be looking at for next year. Now, again, the CPI data is not going to be reflecting anything having to do with tariffs unless there's some companies out there that have been preemptively buying and kind of pushing up inflation numbers, because you get those numbers pushing up could end up getting that demand pushing up from a PPI data standpoint, and in turn pushes up the CPI data. That could kind of reflect some preemptive buying, getting in front of what potentially could be the tariffs coming out in a month. So the numbers that we get from CPI, there's going to be a lot of debate about what's going on with that, but those could kind of push the market one way or the other as well. And then, of course, on Monday, January 20th, we get Trump's inauguration. So when that happens, we're going to start seeing shortly after that a lot of different executive orders coming through, which, of course, at that point, that's where the market's going to be reacting. So between that and at the same time, we're going to be having earnings season starting. It could be a very volatile end of January. And now, a lot of times, what we've seen in the past is mid-January, around the 15th or so, when CPI data comes out, but mid-January before earnings really start, people start kind of doing the preemptive reactions to all of this. So I would expect mid-January, probably after the jobs report, January 10th, we're going to see a lot of uncertainty in the market and a lot of volatility. So just prepare yourself for a lot of that. Maybe a lot of selling going on, just with people kind of putting money on the sidelines, waiting to see what's going to end up happening in the market. Now, when it comes to Tesla, with earnings season starting, right now the estimated earnings date for Tesla is going to be January 22nd, which is a Wednesday. Now, we don't know for sure. We may actually end up finding out that date tomorrow. When we get the delivery numbers, they'll probably give us the official date for when we're going to be seeing earnings. Estimated number right now is the 22nd. Again, I will confirm tomorrow when they do put that date out. So we'll pay attention to see what's going on. But there, of course, we're going to know the delivery numbers. So we'll basically know what revenue is going to be coming in, at least from the vehicle side of things. We'll want to pay attention to energy. And then, of course, the updates when it comes to FSD, the Model Q, the timelines for a lot of that. That's what the market is going to be paying attention to when it comes to the earnings report, because we already know the delivery number. So that number is kind of going to be set. And then we want to know what the margins are looking like. Has Tesla been doing a much better job and continuing that progress when it comes to cutting down the cost of production to be able to bump those margins up? And then the actual bottom line net income margins, what are those looking like as well? We seemed like we hit that bottom after Q2, and the Q3 numbers were looking better and growing. Are we going to continue growing from there and keep building up from that? So have we truly hit that bottom and we're growing up from here? And then when that Model Q comes out, maybe we see some of those ramp costs, but when we get to volume production on that, would bring costs down significantly more. And then we could see an even lower cost of production and then see those numbers continuing to grow when it comes to margins. Again, we'll discuss more of that as we get closer to earnings, but those are the really big dates that we could be seeing over the next month. There's obviously a lot of other things and a lot of other factors as well, but as far as the really major things that could be moving the market one way or the other, those are the things, of course, barring any black swan events or whatever comes up. Those are really it. So if there's any other dates that you guys can think of, please let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, let me know your thoughts. What do you think we're going to be seeing from Tesla and the entire market over the next month? Do you think we're going to be seeing a sell-off? Do you think we're going to be dipping below that $400 mark? Do you think maybe we come down and fill that $218 gap that I've been talking about? Again, we'll wait and see how the month plays out, but you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much. I will give you guys an updated report tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm getting my son tomorrow night, so I'll either do a live stream, an updated report on what's going on. Regardless, one way or another, between Thursday and Friday, I'll get you guys out an updated number when it comes to delivery report, and we'll try to get a live stream out there as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Have a great one.